Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So the Champions League draw has been done. Manchester United have got Paris Saint-Germain. Don't forget, we knocked Paris Saint-Germain out of the last 16 last season. We overcome a 2-goal deficit, to obviously win 3-1 in the second leg. We've also got RP Leipzig. That'll be a difficult one. And we've got Istanbul Başakşehir. So they are the three teams that we will play in our group. Now, the last time we won the Champions League was back in 2008 when we beat Chelsea in the final in Moscow. We have won it 3 times in total. We obviously won it in 1999. Obviously, that was a treble winning season. That's one of Manchester United's greatest achievements. And we also won it back in 1968. And I think our first group stage game is on the 20th of October. We got knocked out of the Champions League last season by Barcelona in the last 8. But we've got to a couple of finals before. Obviously, we played Barcelona twice and lost both games. We lost 2-0 and we lost 3-1. So that's the news on that. And I also think tonight the Carabao Cup draw for the quarterfinals is going to be done. Now, I want to delve into some transfer news, so let me give you some latest news on Jadon Sancho. So, Jadon Sancho is trying to force a move to Manchester United. Sancho believes his move to Manchester United will happen before Monday's deadline. Now, he's recently skipped Borussia Dortmund training. Sancho was withdrawn from Borussia Dortmund's squad for their game against Bayern Munich yesterday in the German Super Cup. Now, we've had 2 offers turned down for him. Sky Sports did say a couple of days ago that we had a £91.3 million bid rejected. So we'd offered like 73 million up front with 18 million in add-ons. If that had been accepted, Sancho would have been our most expensive signing and the most expensive English player in history. Now, I do believe that Sancho has agreed personal terms with Manchester United and he's agreed a 5-year contract with the club worth around 340 grand a week. But Borussia Dortmund's valuation is £108 million, and throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block because we've not been determined to meet what they're demanding. Now, Solskjaer's also held a few conversations with Sancho, and Solskjaer's convinced that we can get the deal over the line. Now, a few weeks ago, Borussia Dortmund's head of football, Sebastian Kehl, came out and said that Sancho is staying at Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund's boss, Lucien Favre, he said the exact same thing. And Michael Zorg, their sporting director, said the exact same thing. Around 4 or 5 weeks ago, Sancho to Manchester United looked dead in the water because it had said we'd abandoned our chase for the player until next summer. Dortmund said back in August that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho went out on pre-season. But we are not giving up on the signing of the player. Solskjaer's been very infuriated with this Jadon Sancho transfer saga because it's gone on for so long now. We have been in for him for like the last 3 years, and he is our number 1 priority target. Dortmund only paid £8 million for him from Man City. So they got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. The main explanation why he left Manchester City after a couple of years is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities, did he? And Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. if we do sign him, he will obviously be our next number 7. Because we've obviously got number 7 vacant at the moment, and he would fulfill number 7 well. Dortmund are now in for Ismail Assar from Watford. We're also seeing him. He's one of our alternatives to Sancho. Watford, I think, want around £40 million. But Dortmund are seeing him as their replacement for Sancho, obviously. But we're looking at quite a lot of alternatives to him, aren't we? You know the news regarding Ousmane Dembele. Sky Sports recently said that we were in advanced talks to sign Ousmane Dembele. You know, we are looking to get him on loan with the option to buy. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he said that he's already said no to a loan move to Liverpool, and he's already turned down a move to Juventus, I think, last June. I think it would probably cost around £50 million, would Ousmane Dembele. But I think now he's open to joining Manchester United because he's got doubts over his Barcelona future. But Barcelona are looking to sell him anyway, so obviously they can get Memphis Depay on the board. Ousmane Dembele has been at Barcelona now over 3 years, made 75 appearances in all competitions. And he's still got a contract with Barca till 2022. Barca got him in a deal worth £135 million from Borussia Dortmund. Barca paid 90-odd million up front, and there was like 40 million, something like that, in add-ons. He can play on the left wing, he can play on the right wing, and he can also play as a striker. He is only the age of 23. So he's another one of the alternatives. We've also been looking at Douglas Costa. He's another alternative we've been looking at. What's his name now? Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. We've seen him as an alternative, but I think we've recently had an offer turned down. We've been in for Robin Matondo before. We've also inquired about getting Anselme Fati Vieira. But these cheaper solutions than Sancho, let's be honest, there really, really is. So, yeah. So that's the breaking news on that. Now, let me delve into a bit more news on Edison Cavani. Now, Man United are looking to sign Edison Cavani on a free transfer. Edison Cavani is now a free agent because he left PSG earlier on in the summer. Now, Edison Cavani, obviously, did endure 7 years with PSG, scored 200 goals in 301 appearances in all competitions, won 6 Ligue 1 titles, 4 French Cups and 5 French League Cups. PSG, I think, got him in 2013 from Napoli for around €64 million. I think he is the age of 33. So if he was to bring Edison Cavani in, then you could say he probably would be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic, wouldn't he? But his contract demands could be the stumbling block, because I think he said he wants Man United to give him at least a 2-year deal, and he'd probably want over £100,000 in wages. So that's the breaking news on Edison Cavani. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda, hasn't there? Let's be honest. And we haven't got long now until this transfer window shuts. And so far, we have only made one signing, and that was Donny Van Der Beek. And he's a good signing, don't get me wrong, but Solskjaer said that we need 3 more signings. He's looking at making 2 or 3 more signings after Donny Van Der Beek, because these still key areas where Manchester United are lacking. Like I've said, we need a right winger, we need a left back, we need a centre half, but I think, we're looking to get a centre half next summer. Before, we was also in for a striker. But you can see that Solskjaer's trying to change the culture of the club, and he's trying to improve the squad. Now, Solskjaer has said quite a few times that he has been frustrated with the board. That's obviously over the lack of transfer business. But we've been very critical of the board anyway for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. We've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. I think the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't been backed enough, and I think up until this point, Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough, and I think he does deserve more backing as Manchester United manager. He really, really does, because he's publicly admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window. So far at the football club, Solskjaer has spent around £240 million. Just say for prime example, he gets Edison and Sancho, that will be over £300 million is spent at Manchester United, isn't it? But Woodward has been at the football club since 2012, so he's been with us around 8 years, and the Glazers have been at the club since 2005, so they've been with us a good 15 odd years now. Matt Judge, you can also say he's accountable for the failure of some transfers. But I think the biggest culprits are the Glazers, because they're the ones that recommended Woodward in, and they also recommended Matt Judge in. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that are demanding the board out. Another one of my element of concerns is that these teams around us that have been doing very, very good recruitment. So hopefully we can make 2 more signings before this window shuts. Because I said, we need to make at least 2 or 3 more signings if we are to mount any title challenge up. We are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. We are the most successful team, though, in Premier League history, because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager. And I said, he's got to exceed his expectations this season if he is to remain Manchester United manager. I've already said, what would represent a good season for us, and that would be to finish in the top 4, maybe in the top 2 or top 3, and win a trophy. It's definitely, a priority for Manchester United to win a trophy, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And Solskjaer has been at the football club now for almost 2 years, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. If we don't finish in the top 4 and we don't win a trophy, then possibly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be sacked as Manchester United manager. Now, obviously, we didn't have a good start to the season because we lost 3-1 to Crystal Palace. That was our worst defeat on an opening day of a Premier League season since 1995, which is 25 years ago. And it was the second season in a row that Crystal Palace had beaten us at Old Trafford in the league. But to be fair, since then we have bounced back. We won against Luton in the Carabao Cup third round 3-0, kept a clean sheet. We beat Brighton at the weekend by 3-2. You can definitely say we was lucky to win that game, but still won it. And we recently beat Brighton in the Carabao Cup fourth round 3-0. But that game was totally contrast, to the league game, wasn't it? So we have bounced back, to be fair. But I can give you more of a perception on Solskjaer as we delve more into the season. And Solskjaer was saying prior to this season that he did say he had a lot of confidence going on to this season from where we left off last season. Because to be fair, last season, Solskjaer did exceed most of his expectations. Obviously got us qualification for the Champions League. And I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. We also finished third. I think that's the second highest we've finished since the Ferguson era. And we did progress to 3 semi-finals. But the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But there's been quite a few Manchester United fans that have been critical of Solskjaer. And there's still some Manchester United fans that don't think he is the right manager for the club. But I always said we need we needed to give him another season because it is a transition period and it has been a transition period for a while. Before Solskjaer got the job in March 2019, which was obviously last year, there was obviously talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. At one point, Zinedine Zidane was linked with a managerial role at Manchester United, weren't he? The only thing I think that needs to improve about Solskjaer is decision making, because in a lot of games at Manchester United he's been very tactically naive, hasn't he? Solskjaer's managed around 94 games for Manchester United now, and I think he's won about 51 or 52 out of the 94 games or so he's managed. You know what I mean? But let's be honest, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as Solskjaer, has he? Because obviously, Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Molde, and before Molde, he was at Cardiff. Now, I was reading reports earlier on this week, and it says, we could sell up to 7 of our players. I don't think we'll obviously sell all the players that we want before this window ends. We could sell another 2 or maybe 3 players. But departures have been difficult for Manchester United. Not only making signings has been difficult. The reason we've got to sell players is because, there is still deadwood at the football club. And plus, if we sell players, we'll generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. To be fair, we have seen a lot of players leave since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in. We have seen the likes of Lukaku leave. Sanchez, Herrera, Fellaini, Darmian, Valencia, Young, Angel Gomez. We loaned Chong and Dylan Levitt out. We also loaned Joe Pereira out. The most recent player to leave was Andres Pereira, and he obviously went out on loan with Lazio. He's joined Lazio on a 1-season loan, but there is an option to buy for just over £24 million. But the players we're obviously looking to get rid of, Smalling, he's one player that we're looking to offload. Now, David Ornstein from The Athletic has said earlier on today that Roma have submitted a new bidding for Smalling. They've offered around 13.5 million. I think is the add-ons included. And he says, that Roma are close to signing Chris Smalling permanently, because their new offer, I think, meets our demands, or it's close to meeting our demands. I think we said we want around 18 million for Chris Smalling. Roma had their first bid turned down. They did put £12 million for Smalling in at the first, but this is, like I said, this had been turned down. Smalling was out on loan with Roma last season, don't forget, and he was very, very good. Smalling's been part of the club for several years, though. He's been at United now a good 10 years or so. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Milan have been in for Smalling. I heard that Newcastle have also been interested in him. I think he wants to go to Italy. Marcus Rojo, he's another player that Manchester United are looking to offload. Since his arrival, he hasn't established himself as a first-team regular as Rojo. Rojo sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Don't forget, last season he was out on loan with Estudiantes. I think Rojo's current contract with us expires next year. Jones, he's another player we're looking to get rid of. I think also too Newcastle have been interested in him. We probably want from between 10 to 15 million for Phil Jones. Phil Jones, I think this is now his 10th season at Manchester United, isn't it? Diego Dalot, he's also another player that we are looking to get rid of. Last time I read up, it said that AC Milan were interested in Diego Dalot. They've made a loan offer for him apparently, but likes of Everton, PSG and Barcelona have been in for Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot can't get in our team now anyway, because I know that he started yesterday and that, but you've got Anwan Bissaka, that's our first choice right back, and you've got Timothy Fosu-Mensah, that's our backup right back. You've got Williams that plays at left back, but he can obviously play as a right back as well. Brandon Williams is actually predominantly right-footed, isn't he? Sergio Mero, he's also open to leaving the football club because Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper, and he's obviously not going to want to stay at Manchester United as third choice goalkeeper. Romero's enjoyed around 5 years with the football club. We got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. He's always been our backup goalkeeper anyway, but I think he's played around 61 games for the club as Romero. Just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Obviously, there's been rumours of Daniel James leaving the football club. If we do sign Sancho or another winner, I think we'll let Daniel James go. We might let him go out on loan, to be honest. We know Leeds United are the club that have been interested in Daniel James. Don't forget, back in January 2019, Leeds came very close to getting Daniel James, didn't they? But Swansea had pulled out right at the final hurdle. It was last June we got Daniel James. We got him in a deal worth £18 million. Daniel James did sign a 5-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. Daniel James can play on the left, he can play on the right, but when we've played him, we've mainly put him on that right-hand side, even though he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. But I think I heard that Leeds were preparing to put around the £12 million bidding for him. So hopefully we can offload a few more players before, this transfer window shuts. But like I've said to you, stick with Solskjaer for now, because if we did sack him, it wouldn't really solve a lot of problems, let's be honest. Man United are not known as a sacking football club, despite the fact that we have sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, because don't forget we did sack Moyes after 8 or 9 months at the club. Moyes should have never been recommended in anywhere, and Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending Moyes in, but the main explanation Ferguson recommended him in is because they was both Scottish. Under the Moyes era, we didn't win anything, and we finished 7th under the Moyes era. I think the lowest we finished in the Premier League era. Then obviously we sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under the Louis van Gaal era. And Jose Mourinho was sacked him after 2.5 years. He did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season, did Jose Mourinho on that. So we have had different managers with different philosophies, haven't we? We've also spent close to the £1 billion range on players in the last 7 years. This includes what we've spent under Solskjaer, obviously. We've recruited over 30 players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And I think we've obviously brought a lot of deadwood into the club over the years. There's only a few players that have been good who we've brought in, and we've obviously got rid of them. I think we should have kept Herrera, and we obviously should have kept Romelu Lukaku. We really, really should. But I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. Ferguson enjoyed, 26, 27 years at Manchester United, won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles in that. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, don't forget. But the success came under Ferguson, didn't it? Because since he's retired, we've been inconsistent. Even before Ferguson, we was inconsistent, because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson. We weren't good under Franco Farrell. We got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974, and we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. I think Wilf McGuinness only lasted around 18 months at Manchester United, didn't he? So there you go. But there's still a lot of players that will stay at Manchester United, because we have still got good players in our team. We really, really have. You've got Martial. He's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Last season he was exceptional. But I thought also Martial was very, very good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at the football club. We know now he is our number 9, so he plays centrally. I know it's not his predominant position, but he's very effective in that central position, is Anthony Martial. Rashford's also really done well under him, and Rashford, is definitely the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I think Rashford's been at the football club now for around 15 years, because he's 22 now, and he has been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016, and since then has become an integral part of our team. Rashford not so long ago had an ankle injury. He had a back injury for us last season when he was out for a few months. He scored his first league goal against Brighton in the league, obviously. But I do really, really like Rashford, and we know now he plays on that left-hand side. Greenwood's a foreseeable future for Man United. Don't forget, before the start of this season, before the start of our season, yeah, we had a few issues with Greenwood, and, Solskjaer obviously held negotiations with him regarding his private life. Not so long ago, we give Mason Greenwood the number 11. He's the fourth Manchester United player to wear the number 11 shirt, and he's very effective on that right-hand side. I've also got to say as well that the signings Solskjaer's brought in have done very, very well. James has done well in a lot of his games, but he's starting to be so inconsistent now. Bissaka's also done well. He's a foreseeable future for us. Maguire, he's had some bad games, but he's also had some good games. Solskjaer's made his decision on Maguire. He will remain Manchester United captain this season. As it stands at the moment, Harry Maguire is the second most expensive sign at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world, obviously, because we got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. Donny Van Der Beek, like I said, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Scored on his Premier League debut in the defeat to Palace, and he's done well in his other games that he's played in so far. He currently wears the number 34 shirt. I think Agallo's, has done quite well since he's come in. He weren't good yesterday and all of that. He's obviously not going to get starts now in the Premier League, but he'll get his starts in the cup games. Don't forget, last season, Odion Ighalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. And just after lockdown, we extended his loan until January 2021. And Bruno Fernandes, he's also been absolutely exceptional. He's made a difference in the team as Bruno Fernandes. I'm sure last season, Bruno Fernandes won some Matt Busby Player of the Season. He must have won Premier League Player of the Month a good 3 times, reflecting on his good run of performances. So the signings overall, have done well. Fred, McTominay, Matic, they've all really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, to be honest with you. Pogba, he was very, very good yesterday when he came on against Brighton, but prior to that, I don't think he's had much of a good start to the season. He scored a good free kick yesterday, don't get me wrong. I thought Paul Pogba was good, though, towards the end of last season. His combination with Bruno Fernandes was obviously, very, very good. I just think, we've got to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club, to end the uncertainty over his future. But he'll stay for this season, I think, at least, will Paul Pogba. Luke Shaw, got to say he's improved under the Solskjaer era. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Not so long ago, Luke Shaw recovered from an ankle injury, didn't he? Williams, he's also really, really impressed me. We know now he wears the number 33. He's the first player to wear the number 33 since Paddy McNair. He's our backup left back at the moment, is Williams. Eric Bailly, he'll stay for at least another 1 or 2 more seasons. I think we'll play Eric Bailly now regularly this season. He'll come in instead of Victor Lindelof, because I think Bailly is actually a better centre-half than Victor Lindelof, to be honest with you. But my element of concern about Bailly, he's injury prone. De Gea, he'll stay for at least another season. Probably will remain our number 1 goalkeeper for this season, but in reality, I think Dean Henderson should be our number 1 because he's got that experience behind him. Kept a clean sheet in his last 2 games he's started in. So there you go. Still a lot of players, I would definitely keep at Manchester United. There really, really is. Next league game, Tottenham on Sunday. That's our first tough game. That's our first tough game, to be quite honest with you. It's our 3rd league game of the season. Solskjaer will obviously be making changes from the 3-0 win against Brighton yesterday and all of that. This is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 3rd meeting with Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer's already overcome Jose Mourinho once because we beat them at Old Trafford last season 2-1. It was obviously a 1-1 draw at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and all of that. But yeah, Tottenham, like I've mentioned, you know, they've made good signings. You know, they've brought the likes of Reguilon in, Bale. They've brought him back, but I think Bale's out for the game on Sunday because he's injured and he's not back till after the international break. They brought the likes of Holberg in, Joe Hart, Doherty, Kyle Walker-Peters. Mourinho's made quite a few signings now because before they also brought Jedson Fernandez in, Steven Bergwijn, Giovanni Lo Celso. Didn't they also bring Ryan Sessegnon in? I think Tottenham's most expensive signing is Tanguy Ndombele, if I am correct. They've got some good attacking players. You know, they've obviously got Kane, who's very good. Lucas Moura, very good. You know, they've got Heung-min Son, who's also very good. You know, Dele Alli's very good for Tottenham. But Jose Mourinho will be reuniting yet again with Manchester United. So, yeah, like I said, you know, the preview for that game will be coming up tomorrow. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.